This is the reality is that a lot of people are hanging around in case there's a divorce, because then they will definitely, and that might be Netflix or whoever it might be who's got to deal with them, might keep a vague hand in. I know.
That might be the bleakest thing I've ever heard.
I'm sorry.
It's physically painful for Meghan to hear her friend speak.
Let's start with the most explosive claim. Netflix and other media giants are hanging around Meghan and Harry not because of their current projects, but because they are betting on a divorce. Think about that. It's pretty bleak, almost ghoulish, but when you look at the pattern, it makes sense. The Sussexes' biggest payday came when they ditched the royal family. The Oprah interview, the Netflix docuseries, Harry's memoir Spare, all of it fed on the drama of the breakup with the Windsors. That's when the world was hooked. Now the shine has worn off. The projects are flopping, and suddenly there's chatter that the real money will come if Meghan and Harry split.
I knew there must have been a reason that they were backing this flop for so long to the tune of so many tens of millions of dollars. Yes, Netflix, proud distributor of With Love Meghan, is only staying sweet with the Sussexes because they want the divorce deal, which bosses believe will be a ratings winner. Wow. How sinister is that? But it does make sense, given that Meghan has already shopped a post-divorce book to publishers. That news confirmed by Vanity Fair. Marina Hyde, the hard-left Guardian columnist, not usually one to slag off Meghan Markle, made this revelation. Watch.
Have to say, and this is the reality, is that a lot of people are hanging around in case there's a divorce, because then they will definitely, and that might be Netflix or whoever it might be who's got to deal with them, might keep a vague hand in. I know.
That might be the bleakest thing I've ever heard.
I'm sorry to say, but it is.
I've heard some bleak things on this podcast. I mean, we were talking about Leni Riefenstahl only minutes ago.
I know.
And now look at us in the abyss.
Yeah,
and,
that is the abyss.
The abyss is staring
but yes,
back.
it's difficult to know now. I mean, they got a big chunk. Don't forget, they got £20 million from Spotify for that Archetypes podcast, which nobody listened to and was just like, I don't know how many, there was something like 12 or maximum 20 episodes.
Brittany, editor of the Royal News Network, joins me now. Brittany, this is astonishing if it is the real reason that Netflix is hanging on. But I guess it's like the publishers. They're only interested in Meghan's book once she's able to tell all on Harry.
Exactly, Dan, because when you think about it, Netflix made the most when Harry and Meghan, quote unquote, broke up with the royal family. So it makes sense that they can make equally as much money if Harry and Meghan themselves break up. And you got to wonder what Netflix knows behind the scenes, because they are obviously watching and they know more of the internal dynamics between the couple than perhaps we, the public, do. So they may be seeing all this going, yeah, they're not going to make it. And at some point, we need to be here to capitalize on it. Or Meghan herself has been slowly hinting around at various things. Because again, when you look at her Instagram account, Meghan, and as ever, and then on the show, she's going Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, instead of Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. She actually included the, which is actually part of the title on the American Riviera Orchard thing, but she's taken that away. So you just gotta wonder, is she already writing herself off as a divorced woman even before the file has already been made, and just preparing for that? And Netflix is there, biding their time, going, okay, once the iron is hot, once actually things get juicy and interesting, then we'll strike, because Harry and Meghan, just content creation is not their thing.
Brittany, what is absolutely fascinating, and by the way, great analysis there, but what is fascinating to me is that that's why she went with the big Meghan Sussex launch, which she knew was going to be the viral moment because she was snapping at Mindy Kaling, but she left it in because, again, that is setting her up for a post-divorce life. In her world, she never wants to be called Meghan Markle again. The post-divorce book will be authored by Meghan Sussex. And the way she'll get around that, Brittany, which is obviously very transparent, the way she'll get around it is by saying, oh, but I want to keep the name because I want to keep the connection to my children.
And then there's the contrast. While Harry and Meghan drown in PR disasters, William and Catherine just shine. Their public appearances, like Catherine laughing with the Irish guards on St. Patrick's Day, or the couple sharing sweet rugby anecdotes about their kids, are warm, genuine, and effortless. They don't need to put on clingy PDA shows. They don't need victim narratives. Their love story feels solid and believable.
Yes, very true. And if you look at the whole thing, she's just trying to figure out how to sort of keep that title and keep whatever she can about the royal lifestyle, even though she sort of despises it. At the same time, I don't think she has a lot of respect for Harry and their relationship. And it just seems like she's always been angling for that divorce, despite their epic proclamations of this being the most amazing love story you've heard endlessly. It just seems like really things are beginning to splinter behind the scenes, and she's looking for whatever route she can. And I think if she had sort of addressed the Meghan Sussex thing slowly, then maybe people would have been more interested in grasping onto that. But I think she sort of dropped it like a bomb, and everybody's going, well, you're still Meghan Markle to everybody else. And she'll, I think, still be Meghan Markle for as long as possible. She may get some people to still call her Meghan Sussex, but at least to me and you and probably everybody else, she will mostly be Meghan Markle. So I don't think she'll ever get away from that.
No, because she's not Meghan Sussex as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I really do feel that. Now, what was interesting is that as this Rest of Entertainment podcast discussion continued, Richard Osman, another big lefty, actually advocated for Meghan to return to acting. He thinks she should team up with Ryan Murphy for a Netflix drama. Watch.
Say I was Ryan Murphy, who we talked about on our last bonus episodes. If I was Ryan Murphy, right, Meghan is an actress.
I know.
Cast her in something.
This is what I always
And if I was Meghan, take a job in something like a really, like you could pretty much name your price and project for the first thing you go back into acting for. If you're Meghan, it's what she does. It's what she was known for. She's good at it. Do that.
I would have married him, got the 2 kids.
You would have married him.
Got divorced.
Yes.
Then ran back to Hollywood to be Julia Roberts for my 40s. But she's not followed that plan. So,
wow.
you know.
Even though you told her.
Yeah. Even though I shouted it through our letterbox.
Wrong house, though. Wrong house.
I know. Wrong house. Just a little house. I think there will be a third act, but I'm not sure.
Don't say they're going to get divorced again, because I can't handle the death of love. I'm sorry.
I haven't said that, Richard. I think there will be a third act, but I don't think it will be. It won't be with one of these. It won't be with one of these ventures which they control, which they think this. You know, I am now a lifestyle guru. I am now. I sit on the board of various companies. I'm a thought leader. It won't be that.
You can be useful to other people, but you don't always have to be the boss.
No, exactly. The third act is going to be the post-divorce act. We know that. It's a matter of when, not if. But what do you make of Richard Osman suggesting that actually she just needs to go back to acting? It's something I've been thinking for a long time.
And every time they are photographed, it makes Harry and Meghan's drama look even pettier. So what's the big takeaway here? The Sussexes' value lies in drama. The world cared when they split from the royals, and the world will care again if they split from each other. That's a grim reality Netflix and publishers are banking on. Meghan's branding is incoherent. Whether it's Meghan Sussex, Lifestyle Orchards, or cooking shows, she hasn't found an authentic lane.
I mean, it's not a bad suggestion. I mean, she obviously was an actress. I think, though, the problem, I think Meghan even herself acknowledges, to her benefit, I guess you could say, is that she was not a good actress. Like, part of the reason she was fishing for a wealthy guy is that she was sort of aging out of that sex pot role, and she doesn't really have enough acting chops to get another job. And so she's sort of just going around and trying to figure out something else. But I mean, when it comes to acting, she could probably get a couple of acting gigs. But I think that was something she should have done when they came back to California instead of waiting so long. Because I think at this point, she's damaged her reputation so much. Her Instagram following is so tiny when you think about it. And according to what I've been hearing a bit, is that sometimes they hire actors based simply on their Instagram following. Like, that's who gets priority. And there's a lot of actresses who have a lot higher Instagram followings than she does. So at this point, I just don't know how many people would be that interested. Could she have a strong career as a Hallmark actress? Yes, I do think she could. But if she's angling for at some point an Academy Award.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
think
what she
that's
wants.
a dream that's out of reach.
Exactly. She's never going to get a blockbuster. Absolutely not. Because the Hollywood studios would know that she would be toxic to box office. But I think she could get a Netflix series where she headlined in the same way as, say, Michelle Keegan, because there is that natural curiosity when you don't actually have to shell out for a ticket. And we saw that with the Suits revival, the Suits renaissance on Netflix, which actually began because people were curious to see, oh, can Meghan Markle really act? Now, all you need to do is watch With Love Meghan to know, yeah, she can sort of act, but not very well. Not very well. Now, the Netflix thing is interesting, though, Brittany, because more and more we are seeing stars of Netflix turn on With Love Meghan, which is a huge concern for the company. The latest is the comedian Christina Pazsitzky. She has had big Netflix specials in her own right, yet she's speaking out, proudly speaking out against Meghan Markle and With Love Meghan. She is now the third Netflix star to do so, following on from Catherine Ryan and Whitney Cummings. Watch.
I'm sorry, Megan Sussex cooking show, craft show. I don't know what the show is on Netflix. And okay, here's some thoughts. Number one, yes, it reads as highly inauthentic. This is the problem from minute one, is that she's trying to be perfect all the time, and it reads as phony, as inauthentic, as not fun. Is that a reason to hate it? No, it's not. I think I don't like that she's. Here's what it is. When Martha Stewart came out with her, how homekeeping type shows back in the 90s or the 80s or whatever, I remember women being like, yeah, right. Like, who's at home making their own beeswax candles? Yeah, right. Who's making their own croutons from scratch? Well, you know who was? Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart was, because that's who she was. That's who she is. She was doing all this crafty stuff, even when the cameras weren't rolling.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. But before we actually get to her critique, Brittany, how significant that it's almost like open season from Netflix stars on Meghan Markle. There's no sense that she is protected by the company because it's just so bad.
It all feels contrived. The victimhood card has expired. The cultural mood has shifted. People want resilience, not complaints from the ultra-privileged. Harry's legal troubles loom. His visa revelations could shake the Sussex's foundation in the U.S. William and Catherine's quiet strength is winning. While Meghan and Harry hustle for relevance, the future king and queen look solid, relatable, and dignified.
It's so bad. And you're looking at people and they see her and they see the inauthenticity and they're thinking about their own deals with Netflix or their struggle in the entertainment industry. And they're like, how in the world did this woman and her husband get $100 million deal? And she can't even seem to cook right on a cooking show. I mean, so many questions there. I think people just watch Meghan's show and they just feel the fakeness of it. And they see people like Martha Stewart who have done it much better for decades longer. Or even somebody like just Jennifer Garner, and she does little cooking things in her kitchen and they seem so natural and normal. And then you have Meghan like in this perfect kitchen and the perfect life and everything, trying to emulate that. And you just don't even believe that Meghan Markle is really even passionate about anything that she's doing. Like from that show, the one thing you can tell that she loves doing, that she has a really big passion for, is her fancy cursive. That's like the sole thing. She does a little flower arranging. She can cook and host, but it's a cursive.
Yeah, and that is her thing. And it's always been her thing. And exactly, that's where you see, I guess, some degree of passion rather than, holy shoot, I have to pretend that I actually do all of this stuff myself. Whereas we know at the palace, it was all being done by servants. And we know at the Montecito mansion, it's all being done by staff. That's very, very clear. The thing about Martha Stewart is she came up in a very natural way. Now, it wasn't just Christina Pazsitzky, by the way. Whitney Cummings, who had already gone off on Meghan last week has actually gone even further, Brittany. Now, I just want to play you her full outraged video and get your response, because I think we should see it first before we discuss.
I found a moment in her show where her friend is talking on their hike, and it's physically painful for Meghan to hear her friend speak.
Oh.
You guys keep saying she's inauthentic. What is more authentic than watching someone speak on your show and being like, she's like, can you hurry up, please? There's some stuff in the kitchen to eat, and I need to remove it so that I can say there's no food in the kitchen for Mindy. She's like, hey, can you speed up this boring story? One of my friends is in the bathtub at this house I'm renting, and I don't even know if it has a bathtub, quite frankly, because it's not my house. I want to be clear. This garbage bucket is not my home. This shanty, not my home. I'll say it as many times as I need to. I think she holds up a mirror to all of our behavior that we don't like. When I first saw this, I was like, ugh, gross. And then I was like, oh, I do that. Like, I'll have someone on the podcast and they're talking and I'm like glitching out. I'm so bored because I'm like, I have something to say. I have something. How dare you answer the question I just asked? You're gonna talk about your trauma. You're 45. Are you gonna talk about how your dad left you? Well, maybe it's because you're so boring. I'm into it. She's inspirational. Be who you want to be and do not let reality get in the way. And if the person you just chose isn't working, choose another person to be. And if that doesn't work, choose another person. People are like, she's inauthentic. Is she? I think she's inspirational. Okay, the message I'm getting is do not let reality stop you from being the person you want to be. And if you become somebody that people don't like, become someone else. And if that doesn't work, keep becoming other things and just keep trying out personalities until one of them sticks. Obviously, I'm doing the LOL ha-has here, but the fact that they left that in, that Meghan left that in, I think she's like, yeah, no, I want everyone to know that I believe I'm the most fascinating person on the planet. And if you dare say something after I ask you a question, then I just want to be very clear that I am in a dissociative state and I am just planning which flowers I'm going to pick and dry and put on my donuts. Because here, we eat flowers. I figured it out. She's just in the wrong context.
If you strip it all down, Meghan and Harry's empire is built on two breakups. First with the royal family, and possibly one day with each other. The first gave them millions. The second, if it happens, could give them more, but at what personal cost? For Meghan, the risk is being forever branded as a woman who leveraged relationships for fame, never quite finding her true self. For Harry, the risk is becoming a footnote in his own story, remembered more for being Meghan's ex than Diana's son. Meanwhile, the world is watching, half cringing, half waiting for the next plot twist. Because when it comes to the Sussex saga, reality is often stranger than the scripted content they keep trying and failing to sell us.